Gas Network presents Sports for the Culture.
I'm here with the family.
Price, XXV, Double I,
Rome,
D-Melo,
Gruff Lion.
T-Boogie, man.
To the greatest sports show on the planet, La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know who it is. Your boy Young Rome 22 on all socials as always. Here hosting Sports for the Culture on the Gas Network. We got another great show for y'all tonight. A lot of good topics today surrounding the NBA, March Madness as well coming to an end. We're even going to talk a little bit about the women's tournament. Before we get into it, I'm going to let the fellas introduce themselves, and I'm going to start with the top left.
What up, man? Top left, that's me, man. Scruff, man. You know what I'm saying? You know who it is, man. It's you know, man. It's Tuesday. We about to talk our shit today. My man over there got pineapples looking like Bikini Bottom and shit. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, man. The pineapple, I guess you got it the right way. The pineapple signals something to some of those other people out there. I don't know if you hip to that. But go ahead and introduce yourself. Down bottom.
Whoa, pause. Too freaky. What the fuck? And first of all, when I was told about it, you have to be in a cruise and your pineapple has to be paused upside down. So this ain't on no freak. I'm not on a diddler. We're not no diddlers. Are you a diddler?
Oh, hey, man, you don't want the pineapple.
You tell me, man. It's a fruit. Now, God forbid, whatever.
Hey, the way you were talking about them torpedo bats last show.
Hey. So what does that mean, T then? When he has his pineapple, no one says nothing about him.
Yeah, but you know,
okay.
Normally you're actually it's the best looking thing in your whole window. Like your whole window looks like shit, like except for like the pineapple, and like. I'm not necessarily coming to you directly, but like if you want to take it that way, that's fine.
Better than your hairline, my boy. I'm okay.
It's okay, man. Hey, one of these days, I might just fucking chop it all, man.
Now that I'm thinking about it, though, G, why do you have a pineapple?
It's pineapple.
Because he's in the fucking kitchen. He's in the kitchen pantry. That's why. It's in there with the rest of the shit. I never see somebody just with a whole ass pineapple. I mean, normally you got it cut up already in the bowl.
No, you gotta wait for it to ripe and then you cut it.
I've also never seen anyone record a podcast in the kitchen pantry. So
yeah, you like legitimately in the pantry. Okay, anyway. I was thinking you were eating the pineapple. It's literally just sitting next to you.
Yeah, like I could have a fake bookshelf behind me. A lot of other, or like a blank canvas behind over there, or the most racist hat in all of America, quote unquote.
Hey, this is a gorgeous hat. This is a gorgeous hat. All right, let's get into it though, man.
Getting criticized.
The NBA today, man. I don't know what's going on. The playoffs are right around the corner, and yet teams are firing head coaches, not extending GMs. If you haven't heard today, the Denver Nuggets fired Coach Michael Malone and said that they will not extend the GM. This is a shocker to me. The playoffs are literally a few days away. I can't think of any sport or many sports where this has happened at all, to fire the coach and the GM days before the playoffs. Gee, man, what are your thoughts about this?
Coming off just winning an NBA Finals 2 years ago, and then this guy gets fired with 3 games left before the start of a season, him and the GM. I mean, something must have gone to where, like, players don't like him, and something with the owners, like what happened in Boston. Something in that manner had to happen for the owners to say, "Well, fuck this. You guys are gone, and I don't want to deal with you guys no more." Because, I mean, I'm just waiting to hear what Jokic has to say when the report how he feels about this, because this is their number one guy. I mean, unless they plan on trading this guy and getting him out of there, pull a Luka trade out of nowhere, but with Jokic and send him somewhere like Miami, somewhere out east. You know, I mean, for me, you're like, what the hell? What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. The reports are saying there was some alleged beef between the coach and the GM, Malone and Booth. Scruff, man, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, you know, I've never seen it. Never seen anything like it. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen anything like it. First of all, the Memphis firing like a month ago was weird. Weird. It's very weird.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say it hadn't even been a full month.
Yeah, okay. 2 weeks ago. So that's very weird because the team is in the playoffs, right? You typically don't fire the coach when the team is in the playoffs, right? Heading into the playoffs, and now you can take over. So now same thing going on with the Nuggets. The thing that why it's crazy with the Nuggets is that the Nuggets were literally the 2 seed like 2 days ago. I felt like, but I guess it was more than 2 days ago. Now they've fallen to the 4th seed. Ironically, they'd be matched up against the Grizzlies. So, very interesting decision to can the coach and the GM. So, what does that say? Like to me, is like I don't know and then nobody take offense to this, but to a casual basketball fan, they may not realize who really built the Nuggets championship team. So it was not the GM that's in there, Calvin Booth. Calvin Booth basically inherited the team. Think John Gruden and the Buccaneers. You know what I mean? So the real GM of the that built that championship team is the GM that he went to Minnesota. Hold on, I can't remember his name, but it's escaping me right now. Matt Lloyd. Matt Lloyd is the one that created that Denver Nuggets team. So basically, what the organization is saying is, man, you guys fucked this shit up. You know what I'm saying? They're basically saying you guys fucked this shit up. We had a championship squad, and then the GM fucked it up, and like people don't listen to you anymore, Malone. Like I guess they just said fuck it. Like you know what I'm saying? So I don't know who the coach is going to be now, but I think it's a very interesting move. I mean, at this point, I guess it's like you hope to create some sort of like a rallying cry around like like all right, fuck it, we got this dude out the door. Now we're ready to go hard into the playoffs. Now the thing is, I do think I could see it working to their advantage potentially because of the matchups. If things hold true to form and they stay 4-5 against the Grizzlies, I think that's a favorable matchup for them. I think they can win that matchup, right? And I think that puts them in the second round matchup against the Thunder, right? Now, I think that's a very interesting matchup because the Nuggets have championship potential. Experience, and the Thunder have championship potential. So basically, what you're dealing with is that team with the lack of experience could go against a Nuggets team with a veteran and an MVP quality candidate, and possibly have a really tough situation in the playoffs against a team that's already won it all, or at least the core of it did. So I think it's interesting, and I'm
But
watching it closely.
does it seem wise though at this point in the season to make this drastic of a move? You don't feel like this could potentially mess up the chemistry in the locker room?
When you make a move like this, you're essentially saying the chemistry is already messed up. That's my opinion.
Right. So do you get like an interim coach to come in and turn this around on the short term?
I'd have to dig in that what they decided to do with that. But
I think
essentially,
it is. You made a
they're
great
saying
point.
that the coach is the problem. So they're saying removing the coach makes the fucked up chemistry better. That's
It is
what I say.
interesting that they match up against the Grizzlies potentially first round. But outside of that, man, I like to me, and this is just my personal
No,
opinion.
right now it's the Clippers. They got the Clippers first round.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Right now, they're the 4th and the 5th seed is the Clippers.
No, the 5th seed is the Grizzlies.
No.
Yeah, the first seed is the Grizzlies.
No, they lost. They just lost right now, so they're down to the 7th seed. They lost to the Bucks.
Look at G giving us real time stats.
Right now is the Lakers versus the Warriors, 3-6, and 4 is the Nuggets versus the Clippers. 7 in the play-in is Minnesota
you look at NBA,
versus.
you look at NBA.com, bro.
Yeah, I'm looking at the scores. That's live updated.
Oh, okay, I don't know. I think they would update their standings.
So as of right now is Nuggets versus the Clippers.
I'm not sure if I believe you. What's the Clippers record?
The Clippers' current record is,
46 and 32.
47-32. The Nuggets.
Okay.
Well, who do y'all got of the two teams that fired their coaches? Who do y'all
Either
think
way,
will go
the
further
Clippers,
in the playoffs?
Oh, clearly the Nuggets, because you got
Nuggets
the
will.
best player in all the league, and not for nothing, John Morant. He's an NBA superstar, but I can't pull him all NBA 1 or 2. He's like number 3 in there. But John Morant's lead squad isn't. They're good enough to get into the get out of the play-in and get into a first round, but not get out of the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see them getting out of the first round at all.
Nope.
Even then, right? They got a pretty. Right now, right? So it's Memphis versus the Grizzlies. Who you guys got going out of there?
Memphis versus the Grizzlies.
Oh, my bad. It's Timberwolves versus the Grizzlies. Who we got coming out of that?
T-Wolves.
Right?
Yeah.
And now after that, they get a second chance. Now it's the Kings or Dallas versus Memphis.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Remember, because the play-in. You got to get out of the play-in to get into the first round.
I don't like Dallas at all in the play-in.
Right?
Nah, Dallas is pretty much just hanging out, just to hang out.
Yeah.
You know, like if I was Dallas, I would have shut down a lot of guys. That's just me. But
so now you're talking about
T-Wolves I think T-Wolves and the Golden State are two teams that I think T-Wolves and Golden State get the final 2 play-in spots. And I think
Golden State's in 6. Golden State is not in.
I was gonna say Golden State might mess around and lock themselves in.
So the Clippers won 1 game, and now the Grizzlies fell all the way to 7th.
Yeah,
potentially.
Wow. Well,
you
yeah,
gotta
the standings
remember
are tough.
right
so
now.
Basically, the thing. Okay, I see what's happening here.
3 to 8.
So,
they're all like 1 game apart, 1.5 to 1 game apart.
Actually, I'm looking at this a little differently now. It was a little preemptive, but like essentially, if the Nuggets would have lost 1 more game, they would have went from the 2 seed all the way to the play-in, which is pretty tragic. But it's because the standings are so close. It's not because like they're like that horrible. Like
no,
they're not horrible. They have 46 wins. Like they're the West is insane. Because
I was gonna say the West is crazy right now.
It's insane. 50 wins. They basically every team in the playoffs is gonna have 50 wins.
I was gonna say 50 wins is the bar, damn near.
50 wins is crazy. Typically, only the top 3 teams get 50.
Yeah, for example, in the East, like I think it's only going to be about 4 teams that get to 50.
Maybe 4, maybe 3. But yeah,
no. So in the West,
yeah,
right?
maybe 3,
Remember,
maybe only 3
games left, guys. These guys, basically the number that these guys want to get to is 49. They're not gonna hit 50. Only the Lakers have a chance to hit 50, or the Nuggets have a chance.
Well, at the end of the day, if you're looking at the playoffs and you're looking at the upper seeds, like the 1 through 3s, I think, and that could still change too. Like LA is not so far ahead that they
no. Yeah, I was gonna say LA is not solid on that 3rd spot.
The 2nd seed in the West are locked in, so it's
Oakland.
I mean not Oakland, OKC, and then the Rockets. The only thing that's
cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, that's fine. But I'll tell you this.
Listen,
both those teams are vulnerable. Both of them teams could get got in the first round.
Nah.
Yeah.
No.
The Rockets maybe. I don't think OKC getting got.
OKC can get got in the first round against.
Ain't no way.
Against Memphis?
No. Against Minnesota.
No, but no, Minnesota. Yo, come on now. We just said Minnesota's gonna win the 7th seed.
We don't know what's going to happen. There's still games to be played. They're all 1 game apart.
Yeah, Minnesota's only a half game out, bro.
We don't know
they can easily shoot up.
There's no point in even debating what the seeding's going to be between 3 and 7 and 8 because 9 and because it all could change. They 1 game could change you from 3rd place to 9th. Like
no. Listen, fellas, you guys got it confused because you guys are like,
you got it confused.
You got it confused because you're thinking like it's a 1 game difference. When the Lakers have 48, right? 3 games left, or maybe 2 because they just played a game tonight. Then it's 47. Then it's 46, 46.
What I'm telling you is this. No. Look at the standings. Timberwolves are the 8th seed right now. They're 2 games back from the Lakers at the 3 seed. That's a fact.
Right. Right.
So that's what I'm saying.
And Golden State is at
Anything
the
can
half
happen.
right now, and they're about to be they're cruising to a W, so they're going to be at 47 wins by the time the show's over. So they're going
And
to be
there's
one
still
game
plenty
away
of
from the
games
Lakers.
left. There's still a week worth of games left. Like Golden State still has 3 games.
And honestly, who's playing who?
Who's
Because
playing
some of
who
these
where?
games coming up are going to be big time.
Yeah, Golden
So the
State's actually
Clippers and
playing the
Warriors,
Clippers.
the last game of the season, right, is Clippers and Warriors. That game matters. And then it's gonna be, which I think that game is gonna get, and that's on April 13th. So the last week, it's Clippers and Warriors. That's the games that matter. Then you have the Nuggets and Rockets, and then you also have Dallas and Grizzlies, and then you have basically the Lakers versus Portland, and the Jazz versus the Timberwolves.
Yeah, I don't feel like getting linear into the matchups, but basically there's still 3 games left. Like, you know what I mean? You're getting way where you I mean, I want to say linear, granular. Like, you know what I mean? Like we got 3 games left here, bro. The point in what I'm gonna make is there's 2 games difference between 8 and 3. And there's 3 games left, which means that there's a lot of shuffling that's gonna happen or could happen. So like I don't want to talk about those seedings at all.
Yeah,
Because
the West is crazy. The West is crazy. What we're looking at right now could be completely different by Thursday.
Yeah, I mean the only
absolutely.
conference that got
Only
it
thing we
together
know
right
is
now
1 and
the
2. And it goes back to my point. 1 and 2 is locked in, and both those teams could get got. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, and I'm telling you who's because basically we're talking about the 3. We could be talking about the 3 seed potentially getting them got. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, that ain't really saying much. So basically, out of the teams that are currently lower seeds, Golden State and Minnesota, to me, are teams that can advance. They can beat a team a higher seed. They can beat the Rockets for sure.
Yeah, I don't think people want to run into Golden State right now.
You do not want to run into Golden State with Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler.
I think out of the teams I'm looking at, Memphis and the Clippers are the only team that I'm not really fearing.
Yeah, there's a couple teams that are vulnerable. I agree. Memphis is vulnerable. Clippers are vulnerable. Like those teams are getting put. Like, you know what I'm saying? For sure. But on the bottom, the Golden State Warriors and the Timberwolves right now, they could do it. Like they could do it, bro. They could do it. Like they could beat one of the upper seeds. And I've watched plenty of games this season where the Timberwolves beat the Thunder. I've seen Ant go crazy in crunch time for them. Like he has that X factor. And so does Steph Curry. So like, in my opinion, there could be some upsets in the first round. Because it's not even really a big upset in reality. They're only 3 games back.
The West is going to be crazy interesting. I cannot wait for the playoffs to start, especially for the Western Conference. Let's jump in the East though. I want to talk about the play-in the East. I want to get y'all's thoughts, y'all's opinion on who you think might actually make it in. Right now, it's looking like they got the Heat, Bulls, Hawks, and Magic in the play-in. Scruff, of those 4 squads, who do you think has the best shot?
Run that list back.
We got Orlando Magic, Atlanta Hawks, Chicago Bulls, Miami Heat.
Best shot at what?
Yeah.
Winning the play-in?
This is exactly why we have the play-in. We don't need to get into the debate of if it's worthy or not. My opinion, I don't know. It's kind of gimmicky. But okay. Go ahead.
Who's gonna win the play-in? You're saying, right? Orlando for sure, because Orlando actually is one of the best teams in the East, but they just had a really rough season for injuries. So Orlando is also the team that you don't want to play. However, they're going against Boston or Cleveland, so it's probably just going to end really badly for both teams. So yeah, Orlando's the best team in a bunch, and Atlanta, you know, that's what they do is play-in games. You know, you could count on Atlanta being in the play-in game every year, bro. So Trae Young's going to probably have a good game. I can see Atlanta. I see Atlanta and Magic. They're the only 2 teams that belong. Like the Bulls making the play-in is just like that's pathetic. And then like the Heat like have been horrible this year. So like nobody wants to watch that.
Man, you know what was crazy to me? Maybe I'm bugging, but I forgot the homeboy was coaching the Heat, Eric Spoelstra. Like how long has he been coaching them, bro? Like it feels like my whole life.
20 years.
Like it literally, like I seen him on the sideline the other day, and I was just like, damn, bro. Like You've been out there since fucking NBA Live. But G, let me get your
2008.
thoughts on the East play-in. Damn, 2008. So literally since I was in high school. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're the Hawks or the Magics, you don't care about going against each other. One of those teams know they're gonna end up losing it, so you're probably gonna rest a player for the next round to go against the Bulls or Miami. But I mean, they're gonna get smoked out of any of these playing teams. Who really has a chance against Cleveland or Boston to at least run it up to a best of to I guess to take it to game 5? You think the Magic could take it to game 5 against either Cleveland or Boston?
Nah, hell no. That's really why I phrased the question as who's gonna win the play-in. Because me personally, I don't give any four of those teams a shot past the play-in at all.
I mean, for me is give me if it's the Hawks versus Cleveland, I could see that going to maybe a game 6.
Maybe. I mean, Trey Young is an exciting player. He's one of my
Yeah,
favorite players in the league.
exactly.
To Scuff's point, I like it's almost like the NBA has it scripted for him to be in the play-in because he's what makes the play-in worth watching. You're gonna at least get excitement out of it. But these teams, to me, man, they're just not even worthy. Like Scruff said, like the Bulls, like, and then yeah, I don't know, man.
They don't even belong. Like they might as well just skip the playing in the East.
It's almost like the seventh seed in the NFL. Like I don't know what these leagues are doing now. I guess TV ratings, numbers. You just the more teams, the more TV time, the more money. But it's almost a joke to the game. Like I can't even imagine the Hawks or the Magic beating someone right now in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it pushing though. It's gonna get a little interesting right here because I want to get y'all's thought on this, but I'm gonna phrase this more of a little bit debate style, right? So we're gonna talk about the NBA MVP, right? So I'm gonna kick it to one of y'all. I want you to give me your MVP and your reason why, and then when I kick it to the next guy, give me a little bit of a rebuttal on, or maybe if you agree, maybe y'all have the same MVP. I highly
Go,
doubt it, knowing
go
you
to him
two though.
first. Go to him first.
All right, that's perfect. G, so far 2025 NBA season, who's your MVP and why?
Jokic, man, this guy is top 5 in all the stats. In all the stats, you're talking about points, he's top 3. Rebounds, top 3. Assists, top 2. Steals per game, top 2. Dude is like averaging a triple double as a center. No one can sit here and tell me this guy isn't the best player in all of NBA. He's what would the team be? What would the Nuggets be without him right now? Mind you, this team was hit with injuries throughout the season. It's not like Murray played every game. Murray was hurt, and you can't tell me SGA should get this MVP because this feels like it's the same shit what they did to MP. They're just gonna give it to him because hey man, his team is winning. But what happens to being the most valuable player? This dude is a center's averaging a triple double. This is never seen before. Normally, that's like a guard stat to average a triple double. And the fact that this dude is top 4, top 3 in all damn near all of the NBA stats. How can you tell me this is not the best player in the league right now or the MVP?
Okay.
We're talking about
Uh,
MVP, right? We're talking about the single player itself, not the team as a whole. I'm talking about the single player as themselves, not as a whole structure of a team.
right. It's a single player award for sure, but you can add the fact that if that single player is carrying his team to be the best team in the league, that kind of holds a lot of weight. Scruff, you got a rebuttal for G there?
I do. I do want to say this. Looking at the stats, it's hard to like look at a center averaging a triple double and like not call him the MVP. I get what you're saying. But I do believe SGA is the MVP. and there's a few reasons why. The first reason is that basically the Thunder won. Like basically, I will say this: that the reason they're fired, basically the same reason why they're firing the coach is the same reason why Jokic isn't going to win the MVP, because they basically just went on a damn slide down the standings. They went from second to like potentially being in the play-in game. We're talking about here, right? So like, no, you can't win the MVP doing that. So I think that kind of cost him the MVP, if we're being honest, because if he was at 2 seed, he would have had a real good shot at being the MVP. Now, basically, we're looking at the fact that the Thunder won 20 more games than the Nuggets, 18 actually. So it's like, damn, that's a lot of games. And then we think about this, like the level of success that the team is having. We're basically talking about they've got 65 wins and they still have like 3 games left. And like we're talking about 68 wins. Like we're talking about like you know, basically some all-time shit. Like, you know, I remember we seen that Warriors team that won like, you know what I mean? When we're talking about only like a handful of wins, we're talking about like elite company. We're talking about that Warriors team with not with KD, but the team prior that only had a couple losses. And we're talking about that Jordan team that only won a couple losses. So yeah, SGA to me is the MVP, and also because of consistency. You know what I mean? I'm a firm believer in, so I think the fact that he's been consistent, he's continued to be like you could count on him to get you 30 easy every night, 35. Like he's consistent as fuck, man, and the team is doing so well. So I think that's the value. So right, so like cool, Jokic is having a great season, but like 68 wins, 48, you know, like what we talking about here. So like winning has to matter, and ultimately Jokic has 2 MVPs. So like,
so then why are we not talking about? So why are we not talking about one of those Cleveland boys getting recognition as a MVP? Because they're only 2 games behind OKC.
Bro, you can't just throw somebody there because they don't have anybody that's having a good season like that. They're not having a guy that's averaging 30.
So you're talking about the constructive
like,
of the whole team as a team in general. Then that's what you're trying to add into this MVP thing. Because then why we're not talking about one of those Boston boys, Jason Tatum?
Because no one's bro. You acting like every day that somebody averages 30 points a game. That's not like a regular occurrence. That there's many seasons that have gone in the NBA where guys don't average 30 points a game. It's not easy to do.
Jokic is averaging 30 points a game. You act like Jokic isn't averaging 30. He is averaging 30. The only difference SGA is averaging is 2 more points.
Okay, the on's difference is SGA's got 20 more wins. So like that's what I'm talking about, bro. Man. It has to matter.
No, it do not have to matter because we're talking about the player. We're talking the player itself. He's not better than Jokic.
That's not what the award is, man. It's about MVP, man. It's most valuable, bro. And look at my man right here. He giving me the stats. More 50-point games, more 40-point, more 30-point games, more 20-point games, 63 20-point games straight. That is what I'm talking about. That is the consistency. You feel me?
It's tough though because to G's point, if you took Jokic off the Nuggets, that's probably a 20-point gap. Like they probably lose 20 games if they don't have Jokic. So I all the stats that Jokic had, it is hard to just push him aside. I think this is a very close race. Personally, I tend to lean SGA though, only because of the moments. We all know when it comes down to MVP, it comes down to who has the most moments. SGA just had a pretty nice one the other night, dropping 42 on the Lakers in a game that everybody's watching, everybody's paying attention to. So those type of things, I think, is going to be the difference because this is 100% a neck-and-neck race, and I can see it going either way. But yeah, any other thoughts on MVP? Any dark horse anybody want to throw out there?
King James, but
hell no. We already know it's a 2-man race.
Yeah, I can't see anybody getting it over these two right now. It's crazy how it's not even an American-born player; it's all Europeans, and it was Canadian and a European. Yeah, at this point. And then third place, it would have been a Greek.
All right, let's keep it pushing though. Let's stay on the topic of basketball. G, I know you said in the pre-show you had a hot take on the women's tournament, man. So let's jump into the women's tournament real quick. And you wanna share your take? Was you farting? You had to mute it, passing gas?
No, the train was riding through. I just want to say that women's basketball is getting better. Like collegiately, it has gotten better and better and better. I just think that it's to the point now, right? Do we consider any of their head coaches some of the best coaches in all of sports? Right? Don Staley, Gio. Do we start putting them in the Mount Rushmore of American coaches? Do you now start putting them in the echelon of like a Bill Belichick, a Pat Riley, kind of head coaches to like where you could compare them to one or another?
Who we talking about?
So that's an interesting take there, G. I actually like that. So Scruff, what he's saying is the coaches in the women's game, you know, some of them, especially, forgive me if I mispronounce her name, Della Dante, is she's like, you know, some of the better coaches have become iconic, and where would we rank them amongst, you know, how we rank the male coaches? That's a very interesting take, and I think they've definitely earned that right, more than earned that right to be mentioned with some of the greater coaches in all of sports.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. You trying to say Gino Auriemma is one of the best coaches of all time?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Right.
That's indisputable. They've
Where would you put him over? Would you put him over Coach K?
I would say his dominance was much greater. But you can argue that Coach K had it tougher because the men's field is much more challenging. It's much more rigorous. It's much more deep. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot. You know, with we just talked about how in the women's game, like it's top heavy. So you know, and for a lot of those, but it is. I mean, it says something. You know, I think it really speaks to the recruiting as well because there was a time when like every good women's basketball player was going to UConn. It was like, okay, you going to UConn or you going somewhere else? Like, you
You're
know
going
what
to
I'm saying? Like,
Tennessee. It was them in Tennessee. Yeah.
it was Tennessee for a minute, and then it was
Oregon. Oh,
South
Baylor.
Carolina now. Baylor had a time, but you know, that's really what it is. But yeah, no, I see what you're saying. But I also think Dawn Staley has a chance to be that too. She's a young coach. They went on a nice little run for a couple years straight. Now they got mollywopped in this game, but you think they're not going to come back strong? I do. I think they're about to come back crazy next year. So like the fact that I think they busted off like 3 straight, if I'm not mistaken, right? Was it 2 or 3 straight that South Carolina won? 3?
2.
2.
They did 2. They did 3. Another one last year. I don't think they won the year before, did they? No, they don't. They didn't have 3 straight because the year before it was LSU.
Nah, 3 straight. What are you talking about? LSU? LSU ain't win a goddamn thing. Oh wait, nah, you had 3 straight. Wait, no, hold
Yeah,
on.
it was,
No, it
I
wasn't.
thought it was 3.
Because Angel Reese won.
No, you're right. 2022, 2024. Okay, true. Okay, fine. So they didn't win 3 straight, but they won 2 of the last 3, right?
You got to think about it. This too. Gino is the only, if I'm not mistaken, the only head coach in all the collegiate that four-peated in the basketball tournament.
So this is my prediction, right? South Carolina will win the championship next season. But not only that, they're going to bust off at least 2 straight, maybe 3 straight. Because I feel like Dawn Staley, when her career is done, she has a chance to be one of the best coaches of all time as well.
Winning 22, 24, and 26 would honestly be crazy.
That's a dynasty.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, So, and she's kind of new to coaching. So, you know what I mean? Like she's only really been coaching for like, oh, she's not, I'm lying. But like compared to the other dude, he's been coaching for like 80 years. But
Yeah, I would say so. Like, but nah, that's a good take though. G, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that and talk more on the women's game. But let's keep it pushing, man. Let's jump into the men's tournament real quick. We all saw
Pat
Florida.
Summit. RP to the GOAT, Pat Summit. I shout out to my boy for that one. That's literally how his bio name is. What is it, Nick?
Lost and Finding.
Yeah, there you go. Because Pat Summers, man, we forget about RP to her, man. I forgot how nice she was.
Yeah, true goat right there. But yeah, we
Damn, he's
also.
been the head coach of there since 1985.
Oh god damn! I
God
thought Eric Spoelstra
damn.
was around for a long time.
Who? Who's it?
Gino Oriema. So basically,
Yeah.
so I'm 34, turning 35 this year. That means he's been there for 40 years. I wasn't gassing.
Right. Been
So
coaching the
Dawn
whole
Staley is
life.
17 years in. So like, you know what I mean? So like, she got a chance. But this dude Gino got 12 championships.
How many three-peats and four-peats? I know he has one four-peat and probably like two three-peats.
All right, man. You asking me to do a lot, man.
All right. Let's keep it jumping, man. The men's tournament, though, we all saw Florida get the dub and win the championship. I think I jinxed myself last show, bro, because I had my bracket down correctly, and then both my squads lost. So my bracket ended up being busted at the very end. But what did y'all think about the championship game, man? And was this one of the better tournaments in history?
No, because you always want like a 4 seed, 5 seed in there, just to give you still some kind of a hope or sprinkle of Cinderella-ness in a March Madness tournament. But the way Duke just got beat up at the end, like I thought Duke was gonna dominate the Final Four just because how they beat Alabama, how Duke's guards just straight up took Alabama's guards out of the game and just they dominated that whole game. And then, everybody here wants to say Florida was the best contender, but damn, for me, I'm not even a Dookie fan, but just watching Duke just get beat the way they did it. But this is Duke, right? Is this not Duke kind of MO where they'll get you? They're either losing the Sweet 16, get you to the Elite Eight, but when you always think about it, when they get to the Final Four, it's like they're gonna go to the last game, but if they don't, they lose in such a dramatic fashion in the Final Four. So it's just like this is regular Dookie shit, legit as their name say.
Yeah, I hated the way Duke lost, man. That shit had me sick. I had them winning the whole tournament. Scruff, man, what was your thoughts on Florida's win?
That's pretty good, man. Pretty good, man. Hell of a tournament run for Florida. That boy Clayton, man, big time player. He elevated his game in all the big moments. He rose. He showed up like in all the big moments. He hit the shots when they needed him. He didn't like. I don't have to look at his stats, but I don't recall him. I don't remember him missing a free throw. Like that man was going crazy, bro. They kind of choked at the end though. Houston. I hate when dudes jump up in the air and like decide after the fact they're not going to get shot. Nah, put that shit up and gonna get swatted. Like fuck it, take that shit as a man. At least you put the shot up. Like don't travel because then you don't have a chance. Like you're basically letting fear control you. You know what I mean? So yeah, that don't sit right with me. Like you got to get that shot up.
The fix was in, fellas. The fix was in. I know he had money on that game. Yeah, because just the play itself, like he went for the shot, doesn't shoot it, and just drops the ball. Legit, just drops the ball and doesn't even. And then he like lets it go and then realizes, oh shit, there's still seconds on the clock. I gotta make another shot. And by then, Florida did what they had to do and went and took it to the other side.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, it was definitely a crazy tournament, man. Florida was one of the better teams. I think they had a good run. I think personally, though, I would have personally have liked to see Duke get the dub, but that's just me. Any other thoughts on the tournament before we jump on? No. All right, there was one quick topic I wanted to get in before we get out of here. It's an NFL topic. We know we got the draft coming up in a couple weeks. We'll definitely dive into that here in the next few weeks and get you guys up to speed before the NFL draft gets here. But I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it or if you've heard about it or not yet. But Shador Sanders had his pro day, and there's a ton of crazy noise about him patting the ball and if that's going to be some big thing. A bunch of NFL players got into a debate about it. Micah Parsons was going back and forth with people. So I just wanted to see if y'all's thoughts on this at all. If you think this is actually going to hurt Shador's draft stock, or if this is just one of those things that come up before the draft. There's a bunch of nonsense because people want to overanalyze this time of year. G, I'm gonna start with you because your New York Giants should be locked in on Shador. So what are your thoughts on all this patting the ball stuff? Is it just nonsense?
I think it's utter nonsense. I think these are just teams that are trying to lower the value so they can get somebody later and not have to pay too much draft capital to draft up, and just are praying that their stock falls down. Look about what's my Warren Snap when he fell all the way down. I think what was he drafted? Like he should have been a top 3 pick, and he went down to like I think 8 or 10 in the draft.
Yeah,
Like
he fell.
he felt mightily hard for no cause. Like a player like that coming out of Miami, he was already deemed like yo, that should have been the number 1 guy in the draft. Like people should have drafted him, and he went down to Tampa. He stayed in Florida. I think that's I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of what LeBron said in the Pat McAfee show. He hinted in the it's all rigged, guys. It's all rigged. This whole shit is rigged. like it makes me think now. Look at Lamar Jackson. Like how the fuck does a Heisman winner fall down to like the 32 pick, and it so happened to be the Ravens get him. Like right after the Ravens got out of the Joe Flacco scenario. Like I personally believe it's just like they're trying to drop this kid stacks. They're trying to make sure he's in a place where he's going to excel. I personally believe if you're the Giants, if you could get your hands on Sanders in the later in the first round and trade up back to the first round and grab him, you go ahead. But right now, man, you got to either get Hunter or you got to get this kid Carter.
Yeah. I mean, I think if Hunter is still on the board for the Giants, I think that would be a smart pick. But I don't know if he goes past the second pick. Scruff, what are your thoughts on this Shador Sanders patting the ball stuff?
Yeah, it's a little overhyped. There's a lot of talk about it. But I mean, it is a tell. It is something that can be worked out, though. I don't think it's like something that's like gonna make or break. If he falls in the draft a little bit, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. You know what I mean? I think he is. I said this like in the group chat. I said like, I think the fact that the Giants went in the direction that they went in pretty much guarantees he's not going to go in the top 3, right? So now what's happening? He's sliding down the board, and now we're looking at teams and we're looking at fits, right? We're talking about the NFL draft order, and then we're looking like, this team has a quarterback, so they don't really need a quarterback, right? So Patriots don't need a quarterback at 4, right? I don't think the Jaguars are going to replace Trevor Lawrence. So the thing is, life plays out the way it plays out, and everything works out. Shador, from my accounts, he wanted to go to the Raiders. He's been saying it the whole time. He hasn't been saying it directly, but he's like, every time the Raiders lost, he said, "Thank God," or some shit like that. I forget what it was, but he was like, he's kind of celebrating every time they lost. And then his boy Tom Brady is in the front office. So if he lands to the Raiders at 6, to me, that's the perfect landing spot. You learn behind a veteran Geno Smith, and then when you're ready, you let him do his thing. I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world for him to sit behind Geno Smith for a full season and learn the game. Sit back, watch, learn, develop as a pro. Because the kid's talented, but dude's not a prodigy or nothing like that. He was playing at like a low level, and then he went to like a boo-boo school and lit it up at a boo-boo school. And he showed us some shit, like no doubt. But yeah, I agree with this. He's top 10. I don't agree with that part though. 1 to 6 is not an overdraft in my opinion. Top 5, he falls out of the top 5. I think that's where his value is. It's right outside of 5. It is 6. The Raiders will draft him at 6. Well, I'll say this: if he doesn't get picked earlier than 6, he falls no further than 6. I guarantee you that the Raiders do not pass on Shedeur Sanders. If they do, I would be shocked.
I'm with you on that, Scruff. I don't see the Raiders passing up on Shedeur. I do think it's interesting all this stuff about patting the ball and it being a potential tell. most quarterbacks pat the ball, like you said, Scruff. Anything that would be a potential tell could easily be fixed. I don't think it's a situation where he's going to throw a bunch of interceptions because of this. But I do like where you're going with this Raiders talk. I think if it's not the Giants, it's the Raiders. I wouldn't rule the Giants out just yet.
No.
I know they made some moves, but I'm not ruling them out just yet because none of those moves are long-term moves unless they're thinking next year. But we'll see.
I'm telling you, the Giants are not drafting a quarterback. I said this weeks ago in the chat, and Chris was saying, "No, man, they're drafting a quarterback." I said, "No, they're going to take Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. Hunter's not going to be on the board now, it seems, right? So basically, that leaves Carter, and Carter's a Giants pick. That is the kind of shit that they should do. That's his pick you can sell to your fan base, actually." We're going to get back to the shit that won us the fucking Super Bowl. We're going to build up the defensive line. We're going to get, a nice, great blue chip defensive line because the last time we did that, we won the Super Bowl. That's actually the secret. So, yeah, we're getting back to Giants football, motherfuckers. Let's go. And, I'm just, this is like a simulation of how that's going to go. I'm telling you, that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man. The draft is only a few weeks away. Before we get out of here tonight, though, anything else anybody want to get off?
Yo, you guys watching Reacher? That shit is crack. It's crack on Amazon Prime. Yes, bruh. I don't like binge watching shows because I don't normally find something that will catch my mind. But my girl put me on a Reacher. She said we gotta watch it. She seen the trailer. Hey, bro, I ran through 3 seasons within a matter of 24 hours. Each season is 8 episodes long. Bro, it is crack on TV.
Yeah, I just wrapped up White Lotus the other day with the season finale. Shit was crazy.
This back up. I'm bringing this comment back up. My bad. I can't let shit go today. This is I don't agree with that. This is I feel like if you get Shedeur at 6, knowing that he was potentially the number 1 pick at one point, pre-draft, long before the season ended, I feel like that's a steal. It's not an overdraft.
No,
I think the problem is none of these quarterbacks are that great in this draft. I think Shedeur is the best one in the draft, but I wouldn't say he's better than the first 3 quarterbacks off the board in last year's draft. Maybe the first 4.
I think he's better than the boy that went over there to the Bears, but you guys love Caleb Williams. I think he's a bust, but whatever.
Nah, Caleb's not a bust.
No, I don't.
Yes, he is. The only guy I
think
can't say Sanders is better is the guy that went to the Commanders. But he's better than Drake May. He's better than Caleb Williams. But the only guy I can't say he's better than is the guy that went to the Commanders.
Because you can say his name, G.
I'm not gonna say
he's like the boogeyman.
I think he knows. I think he knows that he's not better than Caleb Williams because he would have came out in last year's draft if that was the case.
Facts.
But Caleb went into the draft with such a big hype that it didn't matter. And on top of that, the tape of him and the boy that went to the Commanders, Caleb Williams never look better than the guy that went up to the Commanders. And yet Caleb Williams was still drafted number 1 because of the year he had prior to the year he had that season.
G really scared to say Jaden Daniels.
I ain't say, man. Listen, man. I ain't gonna be here. You know what I mean? Fuck out of here. You're lucky I ain't calling you guys the Redskins, man.
Fucking beat y'all without even scoring a touchdown, bruh.
No, I'm telling you, bro. Caleb Williams is not a bust. If you look at the historical data, you look at the stats that he put up in his first season, he actually had a historic rookie season. It just didn't.
And what franchise? The Bears?
No, in general.
Yeah, Caleb's not nearly his season wasn't nearly as bad as people make it out to be. He had some real low moments, and they kind of crumbled after the Hail Mary, couldn't get it together. But if you watch their games, they were in most of those games. Most of those games was a fumble here, a penalty there that screwed them over. So it wasn't that Caleb Williams was trash.
No. No. This is. I never thought I'd do this, but I'm about to sit here and tell you. Okay, I'm about to defend the Caleb Williams today because, like, if you look at the most passing yards all time by a rookie in most passing yards by a rookie all time in their first season, Jaden Daniels is 15th all time. Caleb Williams is 16th all time. So, like, come on now. Let's not act like this man had a bad season. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's 16th all time in terms of the most passing yards by a rookie ever. So, like, come on, bro. Like, that's not a bad season.
Man, bro, I thought you were gonna sit here and tell me he was like top 7, top 10. You're gonna convey this conversation to make your stat sounds however you want.
It's not good.
He was top 16. He was top 6. Well, give me the numbers then. Give me the numbers. Give me the numbers. Give me the numbers.
What's in the numbers?
So how many yards did the first place guy have and number 16 had?
First place, the most ever was Andrew Luck with 4,300.
And how much does 16 have?
35.
See?
And this guy's supposed to be.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
That's only
difference.
That's not a huge difference.
No, but 6th was 38. So it's like he could have been 6th very easily. 300 yards could have got him to 6th. Like, let's not act like he had a bad season. There's multiple rookie quarterbacks that start every year, right? Like, usually there's at least 2 or 3, right? So there's at all time. We're talking about since like 1940. So, like, come on, bro. 16th all time or something.
And to be fair, there's QBs that have had entire careers that never threw for as many yards as Andrew Luck did in his rookie season, bro. Like, that top number is a goated number.
He's also 15th in most in rookies touchdowns. So he's had
how many touchdowns was that to compare to first? It's rhetorical at this point, bro. Because you're gonna try to make the narrative.
He had 20 and the guy on top at 31.
Whatever you want to say about Caleb Williams, and it's okay, man.
He had 20 touchdowns. The guy on top had 30. So, come on.
Pause.
All right, man. Well, we'll definitely get more into the NFL talk as we move along. Lost and Find It, man. If you're still there, I believe you said you had a question. If you want to throw that in there real quick, we might get to that. Other than that, man, it's been a solid show. Yeah, what's the question, bro?
Hey, bro, if you don't get this question out, so we can go ahead and go move on with our lives.
No, we don't want to move on with our lives, man.
I want to go to sleep. I want to roll a J. You know. All right, you got 10 seconds to get your question out.
No, he's probably typing it. Give him a minute. It's probably a two-part question.
Well, he's 55, so he probably take a minute to type it.
Gee, man, the pineapple, bro. I'm about to go cut up some pineapples, bro.
Bro, listen, fellas.
You ever eat too much pineapple and that shit fuck your stomach up?
Yeah, because pineapple is good as shit, and then sometimes I be forgetting I need to put it down.
Bro, I bought like one of them joints from like the grocery store where they all cut up and shit, and I ate like half of the whole John, and then like I'm like, oh my god, like this shit's just like brushing through my entire stomach.
Yo, this and pineapple, Krenak. Don't say I never put you guys onto life.
Wait, did we miss the question? I didn't see that shit coming.
I mean, he said there's not a franchise quarterback every year. That's hardly a question. I have a question for you guys. No, I'm not seeing it, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm scrolling through it too. I don't see it.
I don't see it, bro. He's saying yes. I don't know what he's talking about. Hey, bro, I appreciate you, man, but I don't see any
Yeah, man.
questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got a lot of messages coming in now.
Yeah, I don't see any questions here, though. But Godspeed.
Yeah. Well, y'all know how we end every show.
Después
Sports for the culture.